Okay guys, welcome back to another video. So in this video I am analyzing the game of Aronian versus Vidit from the online Nation Cups. So without further ado, let's get started. Okay, so Vidit is with the white pieces and Aronian is with the black pieces. So Vidit starts with the d4, the queen's gambit line, knight to f6, c4, yeah, uh, e6 and knight c3, all the developing move. Bishop to c b4 and Vidit replies with f3, so that generally people also do captures this, and then you can capture reback with the pawn and give the double pawn to the white in the starting of the game. Okay, so here with Aronian goes e5, a3, and then bishop's backs. Now here with its strikes in the centers with e4, uh, d captures on e4 and f captures on e4. Then again strike in the center by Aronian, and with it pushes forward. Now e captures on d5 and uh, e captures on d5. Okay. Castles and knight bishop to e2, developing the bishop. Rook to e8, so that if this bishop moves, it also creates a pin to this bishop. But here he replies with knight f3, bishop g4, pinning the knight, and then he with it castles. Knight to d7, and with it pushes the pawn. So here you can't take the pawn because it's protected by the queen, so the bishop goes back. Then here next he strikes, pushes h3, so asking Aronians to if he wants to capture or go back, or if he go back, then this way you can trap this bishop. But in the night in the game, yes, bishop goes back and knight to b5 was played, not trying to immediately trying to trap the bishop. Rook b8 was played, and bishop to f4, protecting this pawn. So now here Aronian pushes a6, and then with it puts the knight in a very wonderful square, controlling this, trying to attack and controlling this square. Okay. So here Aronian attacks the bishop, and bishop back to g3. Moving forward, bishop takes the knight on f3, and bishop takes on f3. Now here Aronian plays rook to d4. If you are wondering why he didn't take here, maybe you can take, but if you take, then this protects this pawn over here, and this pawn is very strong pawn over here on d6. So next move is kind of like queen b3 to attacking the knight. So Here the rook has to come to d4 again, attacking the pawn, and then you can play this rook a to d1. So this way you can so if rooks get exchanged, then also you kind of protect this pawn. So that was the main idea behind that. And even if you capture the pawn here, then the engine is also showing more advantage to white. So that's why maybe. So now the rook is attacking the queen, so queen has to move, and queen e1 was played. So now Aronian takes that pawn over d6. So bishop takes d6 and knight to d5. Bishop takes, queen takes, and king to h8. Rook comes to d1 and queen comes to f8. Rook takes, pawn takes, and then b5, b4, sorry. Okay, so now knight takes on d5, bishop takes on d5, and knight attacking the bishop. So queen comes into play, queen to e5, knight takes, and pawn takes. Pawn takes on e5. Sorry, d5. Yes, d5. So then now it comes f6. And yes, you can't really protect this pawn from anywhere. Instead of this, if you play anything else, you can't protect this pawn. So f6, and now queen takes on d4, rook to d8, and rook to e1. H6, rook to doing a very good rook lift, queen to f7, and protecting the rook, queen to e4. Queen comes to c7, and then pushes the pawn. So you need to push. You can't play here. You can't play anything else, because if you play anything else, like attacking the queen, then queen can come to, yeah, queen can come to over here and start giving checks, and it will be a difficult position. Yeah. Okay. So queen 2, and yes, you need okay, a4, king, yes. So doing a good rook lift, rook to is e6, queen to f7, attacking the rook and protecting the rook, queen to e4. Now queen to c7 was played, and then pushes up on a4, king to g8, improving the position of the king, and rook to e7, attacking the queen. Queen comes to uh, b6 with the check, and king moves to h8. Queen comes to d6, attacking the pawn twice with the battery. Uh, and here Vidit pushes the a5 pawn. So you can also capture here, but then queen captures, and overall this creates this very two powerful pawns for white. So in the game, f5 was pushed, and queen to e6 check. So now you have to exchange the queen. So queens are exchanged here. So pawn takes on e6, and rook d1 with the check, kings to h2, and attacking the pawn. So king to g3, improving the position of the king. Rook to yeah, rook to yes, sorry, rook to e4, attacking this pawn. But here it takes on this pawn, and it also protects the b4 pawn. So rook takes over here. Rook takes on e6 pawn, and king to f4. So there aren't any checks from the rook over here. So if rook gives checks, then king takes on these ones, and it kind of blocks the rook from coming to this two square. So in the game, g6 was played. Yes, protecting this pawn, and king to f3, king to f8, and rook to b6. Yes, you can't exchange the rooks, because if you exchange the rooks, then simply this pawn will be very easily pushed and reach to the 8th rank before the king can come over here. So here rook to e4, rook takes on a6, and rook takes on b6, b4. So now rook takes on g6, and rook to a5. So now if you so here if you don't move this pawn, don't push pawn a6, and instead you take the rook, then this is also winning for you, but this will be more difficult to play than just to simply pushes the pawn, as these two pawns are already isolated pawns, and it's very hard for them to win. And this pawn over here is already only two steps from becoming a queen. So okay, so here the pawn was pushed, king to f4, king to f7, rook to, yes, attacking the rook, but it's not a major threat set, as rook can easily move over some other square. King to g5, attacking now, rook to b2, attacking this attacking the pawn on g2, king to king takes on f5, and rook gives a check. So if you yes, now the position is very much in favor of the white. Even if you take, then just simply the pushing the pawn, and in next time it will be queening. So trying to give check, king to uh, king to g4 and rook to g2 check, and now the king takes on g h3 h4. Yeah, so rook to g1 with the idea of keeping rook over here and protecting this of protecting from pawn pushing. So king to h5, rook to g3, and simply pawn push h4, king to g7, bringing the king closer to the white king. Rook c7 check, king f6, and then simply the pawn push. Now Aronian tries to bring the rook to a file a3, king to g4, and rook a2. Uh, and yes, in this position, so now there is nothing from stopping. Uh, yeah, no, not in this position. Aronian resigns. Here, Aronian gives some few checks. Just a minute. Okay, so you will find some change. So that it had some technical glitch. So here king to g4 was played, rook to a4 check, and now just simply bringing the king to this side, and uh, uh, push the pawn. So if you are thinking, yeah, why not protecting this pawn? Yes, because if you try to protect this pawn, it will be a draw by repetition. Just uh, and here he is in a good position with it, so there was no need for draw by repetition. Yeah, so king to e3, king to h5, king to d3. Yes, yes, marching towards the pawn, and rook to a1, king takes on h4, king to c5, king to g5, king to b6, and king f6, king b7, and check, and king goes to safety, and now there is nothing stopping from pushing the pawn. So in this position, Aronian resigned, and this was very good victory for Vidit. Yes, because he now, even if you try to pin, then king to e8, again try and check, but now rook to e8, and if you yes, this would be takes with the king, but still the king and the rook and the king, it's mating, it will be mating 23 20, around 20 steps. So in this position, Aronian resign, and very good game to be there. So thanks for watching, and hope you subscribe.